Okay, there we go. Well, that's been the 600,000 subscriber live stream. I'm glad you all could, show up and attend. That's great. That's all I wanted to say to you guys. So have a good one later. So I had both mics unmuted, but I forgot to actually. My mic was not muted. I just forgot to set the mic for the stream. Like there was no mic selected, so it didn't know. The computer's like, I don't know what to do. Oh, okay. So now we're better. Now we're doing better. Okay, so let me just do that whole spiel all over again. I tried to comb my hair, and it didn't work out, so we're just going to go with this today. And then there's Barry, who's here as our special guest. And what was the other thing I was saying before the mic issue? I forget, but I guess I'll remember when we, continue doing this. All right, so, yeah. Oh, yeah, Jewelry Bonnie, yes. So it was Jewelry Bonnie as the new thumbnail. So we, of course, continue that trend. Let me just pull this up here. So, for those of you that are just joining me, everything's good? I mean, there still might be some people that comb it better! I'm like, I can't! Actually, wait, before I get to that, let me do something else first. Something else! Yeah, I know, the thing is, there's a lag, and people also might be watching earlier, so... it might not be a thing right away where people are, like, noticing that, I'm not unmuted now. Okay, just give me a sec here. I forgot to turn something on. I thought I did turn this on, actually. Oh, no, we're good. Yeah, okay, we're good. I just wanted to pull that up. Okay, so we got that up. That's good. Now, for those of you that, are just joining us for the 600,000 subscriber celebration, that have never been before. I have a running theme that I do with the thumbnails of my 100K milestones, where they're usually the boobs of One Piece characters. So that's a running gag. So first it was for the 200. I didn't do it for the 100K, but for 200K it was Nami, and then for the 300K it was Robin, and then 400K was Boa Hancock, 500K was Reiju, and the big moment, like, who's it going to be for the 600K, is Jewelry Bonnie. And I actually have all of these laid out, ready to go. And I already have 7, 8, and 9 ready to go as well. So, yeah, I haven't decided on 1 million though. I haven't decided on who's going to be 1 million. I'm thinking about just making it Big Mom and calling it a day. There you go. Yeah. The weirdest part about you on a live stream is hearing you say, well, I'm actually going to wait a little bit while longer, because the thing is with the thing is, I'm so used to saying, the thing about One Piece, the thing about YouTube is, you're allowed to say the F word now, but you can't say it a lot, and you also can't say it within, like, the beginning part of a video. So if you can wait until, like, if it's like 20-something minutes into the video, I can say the F word. But if it's like within the first 30 seconds, I'll get demonetized for that. I try to limit cursing as much as possible now. If you watch the older stuff, I curse all the time. I literally, I was just thinking about this the other day. I mean, I was watching the new AVGN video. Like, that is literally the reason I started doing YouTube. Like, the reason I started making videos and I wanted to be on YouTube and everything was because of the Angry Video Game Nerd back when James Rolfe, back when I was like, 14, 15 years old and watching his stuff, so it wasn't a surprise that I'm just like start cursing like a sailor in all my older videos. But then YouTube was like, yeah, well, you can still curse, but you can't do it that much. So we'll be good. When we changing the room, it's kind of getting boring. Hopefully this year. Hopefully we'll be changing it this year. Angry Video Game Nerd! Bonnie fans rejoice! No, Rebecca's not 700. No, I have 700, 800, and 900 all set. Although 900, I'm not 100% sure on 900. I might change it, but we probably have a few years until I get that. I'm going up about, so from 500 to 600, this took us about 10 months. Because I think I hit 500K in late May of last year, and so we hit 600. We actually hit 600 a few days ago. I apologize for the delay of this stream. It was just, stuff. I was busy. But I got it out now. Thank goodness I'm getting it out here April 2nd. I'm not delaying it any further than it always has to. And I will get to those super chats, so do not worry about that. So I will say, I don't know if I should spoil it, but the next one, 700K, I don't know if I should spoil it. I don't know. I should just wait. I mean, we're not going to see it again for like a while because it was 10 months for that one. I think 400 to 500K was also about 10 months, 11 months, a year, something like that. Always excited to see the videos you post. Keep it up. Thanks, Justin, for the $50. So yeah, it's about once a year I go up 100K. And you know what? I'm honestly okay with that. I actually think that's a pretty good rate, Early on in YouTube, when I first started, like when I was under 100K, I was so obsessed with getting 100K. Like, I was just like, that was the final goal, right? And I saw all these other YouTubers that were like hitting 100 faster than me, and I'm like, I'm gonna hit 100. I'm gonna get 100K. It's gonna happen. And that was like a drive, and I'm just like, I can't wait till I get that silver play button, right? And then I finally hit it. I finally hit 100K. It was, actually, I remember the day exactly, because this is some weird, it's some, that episode of Rick and Morty? This is a weird example to use, but the episode of Rick and Morty in season 1 where there's the, Mr. Needful, he's the devil, and he sells, like, the cursed objects to people and stuff. Like, that's a trope that's been around for a while. It's kind of like, it's like, oh, you'll get something good, but at the price of something horrible! Ooh, it's that kind of shit. I'll always remember this for the rest of my life. The day I hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube was January 12th, 2017, which was the same day of my grandmother's funeral. Not the day she died, the day of her funeral, or her viewing. It was her viewing. So, yeah, right? Like, yeah, it's like for years and years before this, I was like, can't wait to hit 100. I can't wait for the day I hit 100. And that's the day I hit 100. And I remember this, I was at her viewing, sad, my grandmother just passed away, and her husband, my grandfather, passed away a few years before that, so I'm sitting in the funeral parlor, just sitting in a chair, her coffin's right there, and not my uncle, but he was dating my aunt at the time. They're not together anymore, but I called him my sort of Uncle Pete, and he was a cool dude. And so my sort of Uncle Pete sits down next to me, and he's like, how you doing? You doing all right? It's a viewing, so it's not, it's like people switch in and out of talking about, like, it's not always like sadness. It's, telling stories about people, and you're seeing these people for the first time in a while. This is a really weird way to start this stream. I apologize, but I'm talking to my Uncle Pete for a little while, and then he's like, oh, how's your YouTube business going? And I'm like, well, I hit 100,000 subscribers today, and I'm just, like, so dejected, and he's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, so, that was that day, yeah, none of the other ones had anything like that, though. None of the other milestones had anything quite that dark, yeah. Did I see the new chapter of One Piece? Yes, I have. I've read the spoilers of it, and I saw the like raw scans of it, but yeah, we won't talk about that today because that'll be a Sunday thing. That'll be that, but it's a good one. It's a good one. But anyway, my point of that story before I went down that path, talking about my grandmother, was ever since I hit 100, I haven't really been as driven to hit other milestones, like even 1,000,000. Like, it was like I hit 100, and I felt like at the time, like, it's when you hit 100K is when you're, like, that's when you've, like, made it as a YouTuber. Like, that's when you've been, like, acknowledged or something, which, it's completely opinionated. It's completely subjective. Whether or not you think that you've hit your goal, that's when you've hit your goal, right? But for me, it was 100,000. So I hit 100,000, I'm like, I did it! And then it was, like, 200,000? I'm like, yeah, 200,000. Like, okay, 300,000? I'm like, yeah. 300,000 would be cool. And now here we are at 600, which, never thought I'd get this far. But it's not like I'm like, oh man, I'm almost to 1,000,000. I gotta get to 1,000,000 as quick as possible. I'm like, I appreciate everybody. I'm going up about 100,000 a year. It's consistent. I like consistency. That's good. YouTube is kind of thrives on consistency. So I'm like, it's consistent. It's good. 100K a year. I'm happy with that. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4 years from now, I'll hit 1 million. I'm all right with that. Get the gold play button, I guess, when I'm like 31. Or 32. Oh, God. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You know what? I am actually thinking about doing a Yu-Gi-Oh video. I have a plan. I have an idea, and I want to do it with somebody else. I have an idea in mind for somebody. And I gotta actually, I brought it up to them the other day, but I gotta actually hammer out the details. Because there's one more, I don't do Yu-Gi-Oh! Histories anymore, but there's one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Histories I've never done. And it would be nice to do a video on the Egyptian god cards, because that was one of the first ideas whenever I started Yu-Gi-Oh! Histories. I gotta do an episode on the god cards, right? And I never got around to doing that, and I'm like, I have an idea on somebody that would help me with this that also is a really big Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, and we could just talk about the Egyptian god cards and stuff, So I gotta run it by that person again and hammer out some details and get a schedule and everything, but look forward to that in the future. Let's see. Have I ever read Minecraft? No. I've played Minecraft for all of 20 minutes, and Can we expect a carrot joke on Sunday? Yeah, it's Easter. That's a date that always sneaks up on me. I always forget when Easter is. Growing up, my mom's side of the family is Ukrainian Orthodox, right? So we have a different Easter than this Easter. It's a few weeks after. So this Easter, and it changes every year, just like the regular Easter changes every year. So I always forget, when it's going to happen. And I always have to be reminded, oh, it's Easter. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Vid with Nux. It's not Nux. Though we still need to duel. We still need to do that Great Moth episode, yeah. Let's see. Oni-chan person? One Piece Man. One Piece Man. I am the One Piece Man. I'm the One Piece Man! Da-na-na-na-na-na, One Piece! Pirates! Gonna be the king of pirates! You ever play Call of Cthulhu? No, I've never played Call of Cthulhu. But I have a lot of books over here. Oh. Never played Call of Cthulhu. But I've read Call of Cthulhu. I have Call of Cthulhu. I got this a week after quarantine started. I ordered it before quarantine started last year, and I got it a week or two later. And I'm like, awesome, I have Call of Cthulhu now. Can't play it with anyone, but I have it. But maybe someday. It looks pretty damn sweet. I love the idea that it takes place, you can either play this, there's two main settings, and I guess you could play it whenever, but there's two timeline settings for this. You can either play it in the 1920s, so it's kind of Great Gatsby, very H.P. Lovecraft in the 1920s in the United States, in Boston, or you can play it in the modern time. So that would actually be really cool to play it in the modern day, because it's okay, we have access, everybody kind of knows what it is, it's not there's not a big disconnect with being thrown into a fantasy world or whatever. How does this magic item work or whatever? It's just this would actually kind of be working. I mean, I don't know if it would be good as an introductory into D&D, but maybe sort of, because it's hey, yeah, I mean, we're going through a scenario that takes place in the year 2021. So everybody's got, you have cell phones, you go to a store, you can buy stuff, everything like that. But yeah, I have Call of Cthulhu. My guy, for the 1 million thumbnail, you should make it 1000K with the 3-breasted chick from Total Recall. Is there anybody in One Piece that has 3 boobs? You'd feel at this point, probably, right? Yeah. Although I might do the 1000K thing, the 3 zeros, I might have to do that. I don't know how I would make that work with 1 million. I guess I could figure out some way, Would you ever want to do a 7 Deadly Sins video? I did, a series. I read 7 Deadly Sins. I was really into it for, a month, but it really fizzled out for me. Maybe it was because I was watching the anime at the same time the manga was ending. So I was watching the anime and being this is awesome, but also simultaneously reading the last arc of the manga, which comparably was not that awesome. And that was one of the ones that just seemed to drag. Like, it just really seemed like, oh, just end it. It's like The Simpsons. It's just like, end it already, please, God, you know? Are you going to read the super chats? Yes, I am right now, as a matter of fact. So let me go through these ones that are saved up here, and then we can go through the other ones that I've saved on the other page. I'm a new One Piece fan and was wondering which of the movies do you recommend watching and which skipping? I hear some movies are not that interesting. Okay, so I'm currently doing this video series that's very, very random in terms of the release schedule, but I'm talking about all the One Piece movies right now, and I actually am planning on doing the 5th one soon. I know I said that like 2 weeks ago, and it still hasn't been out yet, but I have everything. I have all the screenshots done. I have all that ready to go, and I've seen the movie. I want to watch it one more time just so I get a good idea of where everything's at, and then I'm going to do the video. But anyway, I would say you could skip the first 3, because the first 3 are not really, they were like 50 minutes each, and they were released as part of this spring festival, and, you could skip those ones, no problem. I would watch Dead End Adventure. I would watch the 4th movie. The 4th movie is the first One Piece, like, theatrical, like, released in theaters, kind of, like, hour and a half long, like, an actual movie. I would watch Dead End Adventure. Skip the 5th one. I just finished watching the 5th one. I watched it twice, and now I have to watch it again, because the first 2 times I was pretty much just, taking notes and taking, like, screen caps and everything. I want to watch it again, just all the way through, so I have a good, series of flow from it. I would skip the 5th one. The 6th one, watch the 6th one. I'm not going to tell you anything else beyond that. Watch the 6th one. The 7th one, if you're a big fan of boobs being really over the top and bouncy and like crazy, like with the jiggle physics, watch the 7th one. That'll be the movie for you. The 8th and 9th movies are retellings of previous arcs. The 8th movie is a retelling of more of an abridged version of the Alabasta saga. But it skips a lot of stuff, so I would just watch the Alabasta saga. And the 9th movie is not an abridged, it's so much as a retelling, because they add new characters and they swap some characters out that weren't there before, of the Drum Island arc. The 10th movie and everything beyond that, except for the 11th one, I would watch. Watch Strong World, watch Film Z, watch Film Gold, and watch Stampede. The 11th movie is like a 30-minute long, like, 3D adventure. If you could see it in, like, 3D IMAX theaters, that would be really cool. The Straw Hats are all 3D and in CG in that movie. It looks good, but it's more of, like, a gimmick kind of thing. It's like when it first aired, you'd see it on the big screen and, like, 3D IMAX, and, like, the Straw Hats, like, Luffy's, like, using his powers to, like, swing around to, like, crevices and, like, towns and stuff, and it's really cool. Like, the 3D in that movie's great, but it's literally a 30-minute movie where they're just trying to get back Luffy's straw hat. Like, that's all that happens, so skip that one. But yeah, if you were going to pick the last 4, I would say watch Strong World and Film Z. I like Film Gold and I like Stampede, but I would say the ones that are more, especially Strong World, like, if you're going to watch any One Piece movie, period, like, if I had to choose, like, one, you can only watch one, watch Strong World, because it has Shiki in it, and it's, like, tying back into that. Strong World is, aside from the Alabasta one and the Drum Island one, that actually takes references from canon material, Strong World is probably the closest to, like, a canon One Piece movie we're going to get, because the main character, the main villain, Shiki, is actually a canon character that will probably appear later on in the story, or will at least be referenced. He's already been referenced in the story. Zephyr is really good too. I would watch Strong World and Z. But, Gold is okay, and Stampede is like, Stampede was great as a celebration of the 20th year of, like, the One Piece anime and everything, and I loved it. I saw that in theaters. That was the first One Piece movie I ever saw in theaters, so it has a good, like, place in my heart. But here we are, like, almost 2 years later after Stampede, and I'm just like, man, Bullet was a pretty boring villain, wasn't he? Like, he really was. Like, I've seen it plenty of times since then, and Bullet is just, I'm a big tough guy that's gonna beat all your asses! Bam! Bam! I'm gonna be the strongest! And it's like, oh, we've seen this character so many times before. Like, damn. Like, it's so cool to see all the supernovas fighting together. That's really cool. It's so cool to see all the Marines together. The action, the CG is really nice. But the villain of this movie is just like, and he has connections to Rogers, so you'd expect him to be a little bit more, you have a little bit more depth, you know what I mean? And it's just not there, and it's just, So Bullet is Ragnar. No, Ragnar is a more intricate character than Bullet, 100%. Did you see the last episode of One Piece D&D? We got a lot of Ragnar lore in that episode. Ragnar was great. The Briggs in the last episode was freaking hilarious, man. We're on an alien planet. We're wearing these fancy, like, French jabots, and we're just... It's great. Yeah, Ragnar a million times more intricate than Bullet. Maybe if Bullet had a moment where he talked about his past involving Roger or whatever, but it all came down to the same, I'm the strongest and I don't need anybody because I'm the strongest. And then Luffy's like, you need friends to be the strongest. And Bullet's like, what? Bam! And it's just like, how many times, like, let me ask you a serious question. I'm asking this as a serious question, all right? You don't have to give me an exact number. Just estimate. Just give me a ballpark here, okay? How many times in an anime or anime film or in a manga or in a video game have you ever encountered that cliche of there's a villain who wants to be the strongest and then the protagonist is like, to be the real strongest, you have to have friends to help you. And then, bam, he's like, what? I couldn't be the strongest because I didn't have friends? That was the one problem you made, yes. Guess. Go ahead, just throw me a number. 69, I was asking for that one. 850, 1,000, 20. Dozens. Dozens is probably a fair estimate. Dozens is probably what I would say. 420, man. All of Fairy Tail. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Friendship is magic. Yeah, My Little Pony. There you go. I've never seen it, but I'm sure that's in there somewhere. Thanks for inspiring me. Yeah, go ahead, man. Everyone keep it up. Yeah. You mean the whole plot of Fairy Tail, basically. I actually have something to talk about involving Fairy Tail here in a moment. I'll get back to that later in the video. But that was one super chat. That was one super chat question. Yeah. Matt, congratulations on 600K. Your videos have accompanied me throughout a lot of rough times. Thank you so much for that. Question, what happens if someone who cannot use hockey picks up Yoru? Will they be able to cut Logias? Well, no, I would say they can't, because you had a thing with Zoro that used Shusui, and he was able to not, well, he didn't use armament hockey against Monet, and it did slice her, but it didn't cut her because she was a Logia. So even though he used a black blade, a Kokuto, to slice Monet, and the hockey was embedded in the blade, it still did not permanently damage her. It would have killed Monet. It would have cut her in half. So that didn't happen. So I would assume anybody that picks up Yoru would have a hard time handling it. I'm imagining Yoru is really deceptively heavy. I picture Yoru because the only person we've ever seen attempting to use it is Mihawk. And Mihawk uses it with like one hand and he's so cool and everything. But it would be really interesting if like Tashigi or Zoro tried to pick up Yoru and they realize of just how freaking heavy and unbalanced it is. Like, I have a replica of Yoru downstairs. And let me just tell you, it's an awkward sword to like pick it up and like, you know, like swinging it with one hand is impossible. Like, beyond the weight, like the cross guard and everything, the weight is like crazy. And it's like the dimensions are kind of off. So that'd be really crazy if like Zoro tries to pick it up with one hand and he's like, holy crap, how the hell does he swing this thing, right? That would be really cool. Do you have a chair for your desk, or do you always sit on your bed? I simply do not have room in my room for a chair. There is, this much clearance. This much clearance between my bed and my desk. Can't fit a desk here. I mean, can't fit a chair here. Maybe a stool, but nothing with like a back. And yes, it does get painful every now and then, which is why I'm currently looking for a new setup. I would love to have a nice office. We looked at a house a couple weeks ago. It was me and my dad and my realtor friend. We looked at a house. It was a nice house. It was lovely. And it just didn't... It had a lot of stuff going for it. Like, the kitchen was beautiful. The basement was finished. The basement looked gorgeous. But overall, I think everything was just a little bit too cramped together. Not only... Because, like, the way I said it to my friend was like, look... if I was working like a regular, like a more typical 9-to-5 job, like if I was working as like an accountant or something, right? And I just needed a place to live, and then I drove to my job every day and worked there and then came home to my house, this would have been a perfect house. It would have been better than perfect. It would have been great just for me. But I need space. I need space for an office. I would love to have space for a studio, storage. Let me tell you that was what I was doing yesterday, reorganizing everything in this house, or attempting to anyway. But, you know, so I'm looking around at this house, and it's a great house, but it's like, it's not chopped up in the right, everything's kind of too crammed together where I don't think it would work for, like, an office or a studio. It's like, it just wouldn't have worked. But hey, there's something else here coming up. Try putting pillows behind your back. Yeah, I tried that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It looks stupid, and it doesn't work. Do you read manhwa? I've read a few manhwa throughout my life, but not anything crazy. I do want to do a D&D episode again. I do have an idea of doing a One Piece D&D episode on a deck of many things, actually, because I was sorting through all my D&D stuff, and I actually have a deck of many things that I bought off of Etsy. So I was like, I should do a video just on the deck of many things. That would be fun. And if you don't know what a deck of many thing is, then that would be what the video's for. You have to set it up like your current one. Yep, I gotta be sitting on the edge of a bed for the rest of my life. Now, I'm getting a damn chair. I'm just like, the day I can finally have a chair, that would be a nice thing. Just put the chair in your bed. Yeah, there you go. Do you think God D. Usopp will ever break out the old Saga King mask again? I'm really hoping he does. Will you review the last arc of Mashal? We're currently in the arc of Mashal. The arc's not done yet. They're still in the middle of the games, right? Maybe after it's over, maybe it's depending on how it ends, maybe we'll talk about it. We'll see. I love this setup, though. It's a great setup. I would say it's a rather iconic setup because it's like this and my studio are the only setups I've ever had. But don't worry, like the office that I'm going to be setting up, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more easier for me. And it's not going to have a giant bed in the center. So I'm still going to have the posters. I'm still going to have artwork. I'm probably going to have more wall space. So I'll be able to put up more artwork or be able to switch out artwork every now and then. My door probably won't be right behind it. So I can put space there to do stuff. I want to set up some bookshelves and some bookcases and some other shelves for like figurines and stuff in the background. Just so I can like readjust my background whenever I want. Because it's kind of limiting with this. Other than changing out the wall scroll, there's really not a lot of space back here to change some stuff out, but it would be really fun to do that. I was going to take a picture of this setup, though, and have it framed, and then I'll put it up on the wall in my new office, right? And then I would have a separate room for my studio. That would be lovely, and hopefully that would be a bit bigger. It's just trying to find the house that has everything laid out the exact way that I want. You know, if the house needs a little bit of work, like I need to add carpeting in a certain room, or it's like, oh, this needs some work, or I need to do the walls, or maybe the ceiling needs done, like, I could do that. I wouldn't want to. It would just take up more time and money, but I could do that. But if the house is, like, not laid out properly, like if the rooms aren't set up to, like, okay, like, here's something. A lot of houses I've actually seen, a lot of the rooms, especially rooms that are on, like, a second floor, have walls like this. So they start off like this, and then they do this. They like slant, and that's like the room, and it's like that would be horrible for a studio space because I couldn't hang anything on the walls then. Have you ever seen rooms like that? Yeah, there's a lot of houses. As soon as I see a house with rooms like this, and I'm just like that have like that 45-degree wall, I'm like, I can't do anything with that. You know, I can't put anything. I can't put a wall scroll. I put a wall scroll on a room like that, it would just be like this. You know, it would be like hanging at a weird angle. You know. Anyway. Let's go through some super chats. Let's go through some super chats again. My echo turned on there. Okay. So, super chat, activate. Let's do some rapid fire super chats here. Will that be the end of Tekking Tumbles? I will still try to figure out a way to incorporate Tekking Tumbles into the video. If nothing else, that'll be more Tekking Tumbles. In perfect world, I'll have a big wide open space back here. So I could do gymnastics. I could do, like, I could attach something to the ceiling to, like, do backflips or something. Like, that's what I want. Like, just the ability to, like, you know, set it up however I please. That would be nice. Yeah, I'll do a chapter 139 of Attack on Titan review. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Have you read Kaiju number 8? Yes. I haven't read it in a while, but I read, like, the first 10 chapters. I really enjoyed it. Kind of similar to Attack on Titan in that regard, but it's a good series. When Rad and Smart Tekking showing back up again, damn it. I don't know, maybe when Bleach comes back, I'll rise them from the dead. Which is canon, Ace novel or Boichi manga? So the Ace novel, I think, is the closest thing to being canon there. But the Boichi novel, the Boichi manga added some stuff to it. So, unfortunately, I don't think that is canon. But it does look pretty badass. Please go and check that out. Apologies, I have to respond to my mother really quick. I have to respond. I have to help her get a new computer today, because her computer is pretty old. It's pretty dead. So I have to go and help her after this, go up and help her pick out a new computer. Yeah. But, yeah. She's been having a lot of stress lately. Can you show some pics of some homes you've seen? Nah, I really don't want to do that, because there's, like, other people's house. Like, that house I looked at the other day, that already sold, so somebody else owns that, so yeah. I don't want to show pictures of, like, here's pictures of the house that somebody else owns now. I'm like, yeah, no. But, you know, I've been looking around. Okay. Let's see. You were going on about something with, you were going on something about devil fruit genes. Yamato might not be the only child with dragon lineage. Katakuri has sharp teeth as well. That is true. Katakuri does have sharp teeth. So does Bartolomeo. I guess with Big Mom, we don't know 100%, and I guess with Bartolomeo, we don't know 100%. I took that to mean maybe further back in their lineage. Like, even further back than Big Mom. Like, maybe there was a fishman or a merfolk or somebody in the gene pool, and that created, like, that trait that, like, slept for a few generations, and then boom, you got the jagged teeth, like the sharp teeth. Or it might just be a thing that Oda just likes to draw characters with sharp teeth sometimes to be more, like, intimidating, you know what I mean? But yeah. You should grow your hair out. Where I had it grown out, I just got it cut. It was getting annoying. It was getting in my eyes and everything. So whenever it gets to that point, then I cut it. Will you watch Digimon 2020? I didn't even know there was a Digimon 2020. Maybe. Congrats. Your vids got me into OP last year, and I've officially caught up with the manga now. Looking forward to watching your chapter reviews on Sunday. Are you a Record of Ragnarok fan? I actually watched the trailer for Record of Ragnarok the other day, and it's looking pretty damn cool, and I read the premise of it. So when that comes out, I think I'm definitely going to check that out, because that does look pretty damn cool, and I've been recommended that for a while now. Yeah. Have you read Me and Roboko? Lots of One Piece references. No, I haven't seen that, unfortunately. You are my spirit animal. Do you think God to Usopp will ever break out the old Sage King mask? Yeah, I already read that one. But yeah, I really hope he does at some point. Hey, Tekking, what's your take on the reason why some Sea Kings are feral but others are very intelligent? Do you think it might have something to do with the red line closing off water? I have a video about that, actually. I might have to turn off... Oh, yeah. Have you read any of the last manga I've sent? No, I'm sorry, Allison. I know who you are, though. You did send me those manga. I haven't read any of them yet, but they are downstairs, and it's just, once again, reorganized and moving everything around. I would love, you know, when I get my place to have a nice, big bookcase and all my manga laid out, and I could just be like, now I can finally tackle these, because kind of everything is scattered right now. Hold on. I think I'm going to turn off Super Chat, because we are getting an influx, and I appreciate it because of, you know, 600k and all that, but just for me able to, like, read through, I want to be able to read through all of them. I'm going to have to pause that for a moment. Okay. Thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen? There's the obligatory Jujutsu Kaisen question every single stream we get. Haven't read it yet, but it's on the list. Where do you see One Piece D&D going? I have no idea, man. If you asked me a month ago where it was going, I could guarantee you whatever I was going to say wasn't going to be freaking outer space. So, Rustage is doing this. He's doing good at it. We had a blast in the last episode. It was a lot of fun. So we're hoping this goes places. Definitely hoping this goes places. Let's see. Yes, the Sea Kings. I made a video about the Sea King theory. I think it has to do with age. I think it's the more feral Sea Kings, or also maybe the smaller ones that aren't that old, maybe a few dozen years, a few decades years old. However, when you get to the larger Sea Kings, those things might be thousands of years old, maybe tens of thousands of years old for the really, really big ones that we saw, like that are bigger than like islands, and the ones that were able to communicate and talk about, like the cow one, the one that's like white and black with like a cow spots, and the one that had like the giant underbite, and the one that looked like a bird. I think those ones might be very well like tens of thousands of years old, and they're super intelligent. So I think that's where that comes from there. That's my theory anyway. I've been watching you since 6th grade. I'm now 19. Oh, God, I feel old. Thanks for everything. My biggest inspiration. See, that's the weird. That's not weird. It makes sense. It's just, that's the stuff that just blows my mind, because it's like I watched AVGN when I was like 15 years old, when I was like a sophomore in high school. And here I am now. I'm still watching his stuff, you know, over, you know, 12 years, 13 years later. And then there's other people that did the same with me, because I've been making videos this month. No, not this month. Next month. May 29th will mark the 12-year anniversary of the channel, of the Tekking101 channel when I started it. And then it'll be a 10-year anniversary not long after that, since I started talking about manga, since I started doing Bleach reviews back in June of 2011. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, God. New member, thank you, Kevin Edwards. We used to do the dance. I'll do the dance. I'll bring out the dance. Oh, yeah. New member, new member, new member. Ha! Now I have to do that every time I get a new member. Oh, man. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Snake Neck could be descended from snake fruits, and Big Mom's kids can still control the homies. Void Century knowledge. I believe that's probably second part to another question. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Oh, here it is. Yeah. That was the connection to the teeth question. Yeah. It might just be something like that. Like, if you just go back through the centuries, you know, you're going to have people that had devil fruit powers back then, and it's going to mess with the DNA for, you know, maybe more and more generations down the line. Like, it's not an immediate thing. It takes like hundreds of years to have a change, but a change does happen. Kenpachi versus Kaido. I would say probably Kenpachi, because, you know, Kaido is still, as Luffy said last chapter, he's still human. There's little somebody. New member. Do-do-do-do-do. New member, ha. Okay. Oh, man. Tekking just turned 17, yeah, or 28. I'm going to be 28 by the end of the month. But anyway, what's next? Yeah, Kenpachi versus Kaido. Kenpachi is a Shinigami. He's got, like, just stronger reserves just for being a Shinigami. I'm sure Kaido would at least put up a fight, but Kenpachi, I mean, he could probably just slice Kaido in half. I don't think armament hockey is really going to provide much of a protection against Kenpachi. You know, maybe Kenpachi might have to make a few slices to get through, but it's not going to take very long. I'm going to give Kenpachi on that one. And plus, that dragon just makes a pretty damn good target there. Let's see. Okay, we got that. That's good. And what's this? Yeah, that's funny. According to Deadpool manga, the My Hero Academia is Marvel, since All Might showed up in the last chapter. Congrats on the 600K. All Might showed up in the Deadpool manga. Wait, there's a Deadpool manga? Wait, whoa. Back up! There's a Deadpool manga. That's right, Andre. Bring the fire. Like, the fuck? I need to look that up. How long has that been a thing? How long? Are you gonna do a video about Binks Sake? Yeah, I do. Jacob Soto! Alright. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I think I'm changing it up every time, but we're doing it. Alright. Okay. Oh, man, how many more of those can I do? I don't know. Alright. Almighty, damn it! Almighty, yeah! Almighty! Oh, God, guys. It's a good thing I ate lunch before I did this. Because a lot of times I'll wake up and I'll go throughout my morning routine and then I'll just, like, do a stream and I'll, like, okay, I'll just get it done early. But then by the time it's done, I'm talking and stuff and I'm waving around my arms and everything. I'm freaking hungry by the time it's over. Like, oh, God, I need to go eat. And I just open the fridge and just, like, devour everything in there. But I'm glad I ate before. Here we go again. Pad Parasha. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Pad Parasha. Doodle Frank. Alice in Texas. Ricky. All right, Ricky the Rebel. All right, yeah. All right, are we good? Are we good? No, we're not. Wolf Shadow 39. Wolf Shadow 39. The shadow of a wolf and you're 39. Okay. It's funnier if it should just be I stand over there and just wait until the next one comes down. But it's funnier if I sit down every time. Okay. And I'm still trying to answer super chats here. Just wanted to let you know you make my day when you upload that happy birthday month. Thank you for the 99, Cajun boy. Thank you, Cajun. What is canon, Ace Novel, or Boichi? Ace Novel is probably more canon than the Boichi manga. Will that be the end of Tekking Tumbles? No, as this is a perfect example. Sanchi Top! Sanchi Top! There we go. Alright, and Alejandro! Oh, that's a good one. Alejandro. That's a fun one. Ben Johnson! Ben Johnson! I know him from my pirating days! Sailing the seven seas! Ben Johnson! Alright, he's related to Ben Beckman. Okay. Alrighty then. Oh, I'm just bouncing back and forth today. Will you watch Digimon 2020? I already answered that one. I think I answered a lot of these, actually. Spirit Animal, have you ever read Solo Leveling? No. My favorite isekai anime is Mare. It's very simple, but I love isekai. I love Mare. Let's see. If villains utilize the power of friendship, we are screwed. I think there's been a good... That's a super sticker. I'm not dancing for that, but thank you, Ogles. But anyway, there it is. Big Blue Drew. Big Blue Drew. That's that one. Franz Poppy. Do a spin on that one. Okay. There we go. Eats cheese. Go eat cheese. Yeah. I'm like, dude. It's like that episode of SpongeBob SquarePants where SpongeBob's got to make the patties. Like they get an order for like Plankton orders like 10,000 Krabby Patties. Or no, he's like he keeps it open all day. So and then SpongeBob has to like make all these patties. Kage Unlimited, Unlimited Shadow. There we go. And then he's just excited. Bam-a-rag, bam. Go for it, man. Okay. Alright, you know what? Okay. Alright, I appreciate it. But can we take a breather for that for a little while? I'm gonna take a breather, okay? I'm not gonna do that every time, because I literally do need... I do have to answer some questions here, okay? Alright. Alright, where do we leave off? Answered that one. Let's see here. What do you think about Smoker joining the crew to be the mirror for Aokiji and the Blackbeard Pirates? Let's see. Smoker, I think Aokiji is going to be like a double agent for the Marines, like this whole time, right? Like he's been a double agent for the Marines. He's doing it on his own. He works for Sword, I'm assuming. I don't think that he's like doing this, I don't think that he's like, Aka Inu knows what he's doing or whatever. I think he's like part with Garp and Sengoku and they're part of Sword, right? I think that's how that's going now. Yeah. Movie 6 is a masterpiece. The animation of movie 6 is different. Okay, so that might throw you off immediately. You might see it and it might just be like, whoa, this is strange, right? For this is a little bit out there. They use the same animation in some of the Thriller Bark episodes. So if you see some Thriller Bark episodes that have like a different kind of animation, like there was one episode, thank you, Fleedon, for the $50. If they do that, I'm just telling you right out of the gate, like, yeah, so it's a little bit off-putting maybe if you're not used to the animation, but it is a really good movie. I don't want to spoil it, but you just have to watch it, right? Let's see here. If you do a stream next week, I'll send 50, big fan. I'm going to try to do two a month standard, plus the fan mail stream, okay? So we got 2 every month, plus a fan mail stream, which I'll probably be doing a fan mail stream this month, because of, my birthday. I've already actually got some fan mail yesterday for my birthday, so that's good. Thanks to everybody that sends me the birthday stuff. That's great. But yeah, I can, do that, this month, and then maybe get back into more streaming and everything. So that helps. Oh man, I really am hot. Because I'm wearing this sweater too. It's snowing. It's like there's snow on the ground here. It was like a month of warm weather. I'm going to take a break from super chats here for a second, though. I want to go back to regular chat for a moment. I'm trying to balance everything at once. It's really hard, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to balance super chats plus memberships plus just the regular chat. I don't want to just ignore the regular chat. Oh, man. Okay. When's your B-Day? April 24th is my B-Day. Best One Piece impression. That is probably, my best One Piece impression is probably most likely Orochi. You know, Orochi or Pika, I would say. I am not Orochi! I have brought around with my thing! Because I am Orochi! You know, I'm around with stuff and things! And then there's, Pika, who I'm trying to think of like a Pika line. Roronoa, you will defeat me! I guess that is true. Pika was defeated by Roronoa Zoro. Yeah. You're trying your best, Matt, and just juggling a million things at once. Damn straight. Let's see here. We will always be ignored. Sorry, man. Sorry. That's why I try to pause the super chats every now and then. So yeah, we'll get back into the super chats. Don't worry. Okay. Are you going to talk about Berserk? I haven't really read Berserk yet. That's just, it's still on the list. Still on the list. Typically, I will say this. I have a long list of all the stuff people have recommended me on over the years. A lot of stuff. When I finally get around to talking about, like when I finally get around to reading something, right? I usually post it on Twitter. Like when I started reading Vinland Saga, I was given like all these recommendations, you know, you need to read Vinland Saga, read Vinland Saga. When I finally got around to actually reading it, I did tweet it, like, I'm reading Vinland Saga now, so that's the best I could say. And here's the thing, I started reading Vinland Saga last year, like it was New Year's Day 2020 is when I started reading Vinland Saga, and I didn't talk about the first Vinland Saga. I made a video about it, was just like last month. So, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Bring back the medieval playthroughs. So, they did re-release, re-release Medieval for the PlayStation 4. I think I played that for, like, all of, like, I don't know. I think I did, like, 1 or 2 episodes of it, and then I stopped. But, yeah. It would be nice, and like I said, I answered that one. Thanks, Phildon, and thanks, Phildon, for the 100 there. And then thanks, Jack, again. I answered that one, but thanks, Jack, for the 50 Australian dollars. It'd be nice to have, for one thing, a chair. But then I have a chair, and then my gaming setup is so, like, it's fine when I'm just gaming by myself, but in order to, like, record, like, PlayStation footage, like, it's such an awkward thing I have to do. Because I have to, like, I have to, sit on the edge of my bed, and I have to take these wires, and I have to plug them in from my PS4 over there to my computer over here, and I have to, it's this really awkward setup. That would also be nice to have, like, a setup where I can have a big desk, because this desk is pretty tiny. Get a big desk, have multiple monitors. I only have one monitor here. My other monitor is my television, okay, because I just don't have room here. So get 2 monitors, or 3, and then I can hook up the PlayStation 4, or whatever I have to the monitors, and then I could just, like, game. You know, like every other gamer does. You know, like how every other Twitch streamer or every other YouTuber plays a game, where they just, like, sit at their desk and, like, have it on there, and they have one screen with all of their, XSplit YouTube stuff, and then they have the other screen where they actually play the game. You know, like 99% of everybody that plays games. Yeah, that's the setup I would like to have, right? Let's see. What is Bonnie up to? She is at Reverie, I guess, or she's still there. I'm not sure. She might be. I'm not really sure. She might have left. She might have went somewhere else. I don't really know. But she is related to Kuma in some way. So there's a thing. Let's see. What's my favorite fruit? I'm partial to pears. Bananas are good too. Apples are great, except I don't like the red delicious apples. I like Granny Smith apples are great. Yellow delicious are good. I don't like the plain just red apples. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't like the consistency of it. I don't like the taste. I think that the tartness of the Granny Smith is better. And it's like the sweetness of the Yellow Delicious is better. Let's see. Do the banana dance number. Oh, like peanut butter jelly time? Yeah, no. I did enough dancing. Let's see. What's your favorite devil fruit? There it is. Probably Laws. The Oppie Oppie No Me is probably my favorite. Opinions on The Walking Dead. I have a giant Negan poster over there in the corner. I really like The Walking Dead. I didn't watch it. I watched like the last 2 episodes of season 1. I remember that. And then I was hooked from like season 2 to the end of season 5. No, the end of season 6. Season 6 is when Negan showed up, right? Okay, so the end of season 6, I think, was that big cliffhanger with like who died. And then season 7 opened up, and I watched like half of season 7. And I think it was halfway through season 7, another character died. And I think that was the moment where I was like, all right, I'm done. But I was with it for a while, right? I was with The Walking Dead for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 seasons. And I like with like as I watched, like when they came out, like when there was a new episode out, I made sure to watch it, right? I couldn't tell you what's going on in The Walking Dead right now. Like, I have no idea. Like, is it still airing? Is it like, is this the last season or is it over already? I don't know. I watched the first season of Fear the Walking Dead. I like that. Don't really remember much of it, but I remember it. I am not on Halo. I've never played Halo. Halo was like the big thing when I was in middle school, high school. Call of Duty and Halo were like, everybody played those. And, I didn't get an Xbox until later, but my friends always played them. I never got into Halo, but I did get into Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you fight with kitchenware. Modern Warfare 2 was my jam when I was in high school. I would, go to school, and then later when I got home that night, I'd be playing, on game chat with everybody. Negan is getting his own spin-off show. You know what? I think I actually did hear about that. So we'll see where that goes. I'm going to be 28 on the 24th of this month. Yeah, I think... Oh, congratulations. Oh, thank you, Buster Blader. Yeah. I want to do a discussion on Askin, the best Stern Ritter. Yeah, I do want to do one on that. But yeah, yes, Modern Warfare. Here's another thing. This is what made me mad. This is what pissed me off, okay? So Modern Warfare 2, I think it was the best. I mean, there was like, my friend was really into World at War. I didn't really know anybody that was into the first Modern Warfare. When Modern Warfare 3 came out, I knew a lot of my friends that played that. But I have a definitive, like, Modern Warfare 2 is the best, like, for me. No Para 73. I'm not going to dance, but no Para 73. Thanks for joining. So they came out with they redid it. They remastered Modern Warfare 2 like last year, didn't they? Like last year, the year before that, they came out with a re-release. I was so excited. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, when it was first announced, I think it was for the PlayStation and the Xbox, but I'm not even kidding you. Like, if that was released, if they did a complete remaster of Modern Warfare 2 with multiplayer, and it was only for the Xbox One, I might have actually have bought an Xbox One, because it's like, that would have been great. And then they released it, and I think it is for the PlayStation, but there's no multiplayer. At least I don't think there was a multiplayer. I'm pretty sure I read it. There was no multiplayer. I'm like, what's the point of even, like, what's the point, of remastering it then? Maybe there is. Somebody please tell me there was. Like, oh, actually, they did add the multiplayer. I'm like, oh, shit, well, I gotta buy that now. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in a car right now. Well, that's cool. How did I come up with Tekking101? I've told this story before, but considering it's a 600k stream, I can tell it again. I met the Magia Lupus. Ooh, maybe. I have only read a little bit of Eden Zero. Just a little bit. But yeah, no multiplayer. Damn it. I was hoping someone would have been like, "Hey, Tekking, guess what? They actually added multiplayer last week." And I'm like, "Woo!" Damn it, that sucks though. But anyway, how did I come up with Tekking101? All right. So I've told this story before, although a couple months ago, I was actually I realized like there was another part of this story that I actually kind of forgot about, right? Like it all clicks together, okay? So part of the story that I always told was that the 101 part from Tekking101 actually came from Zoe 101, and it did. I was a big fan of Zoe 101, which was it was like Teen Nick back in like the mid 2000s. I think it aired from like 2005 to like 2007 or something like that. I was like 12, 13 years old. I was like that tweeny age, and I really liked Zoe 101. I liked the show. And I'm watching Zoe 101, and there was an episode of Zoe 101 where they're on, I remember it was like the spring break episode where they go on spring break. And there's like an episode where they're in this super fancy mansion and they have to play like a game show. Like, so the characters, like there's a girls team and a boys team and they have to go and they have to like compete against each other in some weird game show or whatever. Anyway, so there's a scene in the episode and it kind of perplexes me to this day. Exactly what it was or why they did it, because I want to say product placement, but it wasn't, but it was. Let me see. I think I've showed these before too, but let me just pull it up. The Tech Mates. Anybody that's watched Zoe 101 knows exactly where I'm going right now. This is the origin of like so much stuff for my YouTube channel. I hope you understand this. That's not a great image, but it was from like 2005. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, okay. All right, so let me grab an image of that. All right. Okay, and then let me grab what the T-Mobile Sidekick was. The T-Mobile Sidekick 2. Okay, so this is going to look really stupid. But here you go. Okay, so this is what was in the episode. So in the episode, they, I know this is a grainy picture, but each of the students in the episode get, they call them Tech Mates. And this is the part of the story I forgot. They were spelled T-E-K. They were spelled the same way I spelled Tekking in my title, right? So there was like an online forum where you could like join, and you on Nickelodeon.com back in the day, and you could join and you could talk about Zoe 101. And I wanted to get on the forum. Well, you need to make an account, you need to make a username and everything. And I never really came up with a username before this. So because I was watching the episode where it was Zoe 101 and they had the Tech Mates, I just went with Tech King. Spelled the same way, T-E-K. So that's the origin. Like that, if you go back and watch that spring break episode of Zoe 101, that's the origin. That entire episode is pretty much the origin of the name of Techie 101. There you go. But at any rate, they have these in the episode. Now here's the thing. These were real. These actually existed, but they were not called Tech Mates. They were made by T-Mobile, and they were called the T-Mobile Sidekick 2. Did I tell this part of the story before? Well, I'm telling it again now. This is the T-Mobile Sidekick 2, which I think... Oh, whoa. I think somebody... Well, no, don't do that. Hold up. There we go. I think somebody modded it to actually play Castlevania, it looks like. This is awesome. But this is the hip top. So it's like different models of the same thing. Anyway... it was a device. Now this is, I know this looks archaic as shit right now, but keep in mind, this was like right before smartphones became a thing. The iPhone was introduced in 2007, if I remember correctly. The iPhone was the big revolutionary thing. This is a smartphone, all that crap. Big revolutionary thing. And this came out in like 2000. I was in middle school when this came out. So like 05, 06, this probably came out. Okay. So this was like something that was really crazy, and I wanted this so bad. I wanted this phone. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it's actually, you can't really tell, but it doesn't just slide up. It doesn't just like slide up. It actually switches out. So in the episode, they click and it's like, whoosh, it actually switches. It switches. You know, so I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And, I wanted it, right? But the problem was, T-Mobile didn't have any support in this area. There was no coverage for T-Mobile in this area. We were just too far out in the country back then. So I could never get it. So never got a T-Mobile Sidekick too. But the weird thing is in the episode, they're clearly, I wanted to say, like, that's a product placement. Like, T-Mobile was paying the people of Zoe 101 to support, like, here's the new T-Mobile Sidekick 2, support it. But they don't actually call them the sidekicks in the episode. And they also don't even say the name T-Mobile. So that makes me think, like, they didn't get T-Mobile's permission, but the device is still in the episode. So I don't know how that worked. Maybe somebody on the set design team just thought they looked cool and was like, well, we want to use them in the episode, but we can't actually call them sidekicks and we can't actually have the logo. So we have to redesign them. But, yeah. So that's the origin. That's the origin of the name Tekking101. I'm out of tea. But I have water! Let's see. Are you looking forward to watching anything this season? My Hero Season 5 just came out last week. The first episode is always, a filler episode just to kind of get you back in the story. Although I would say, the episode is pretty good. Like, the episode where, what I liked about the episode Season 1, is Episode 5, Season 1, Season 5, Episode 1, whichever. I talk really fast. I don't know if you guys noticed that. There was how all of the Class 1A students, like, that just, like, mobilized immediately to go deal with this problem. Like, it was a drill where, like, villains have invaded UA and they have to go mobilize and work out together and everything and make it, like, defeat the villains. I like the way that it was so smooth in the episode. Like, at this point, they've already gone through 4 seasons. They've gone through internships. They've gone through work studies. They've gone through the provisional license exam. They've gone through the Hasaikai arc. They went through all that stuff already. So they were like, all right, let's go do this. And so it's like reconnaissance team over here, rescue team over here, battle team over here. Like, they all split up perfectly. Like, they were a unit that's been working together for years, even though they've only been doing this for about a year now, less than a year. So that was really cool. That was really nice. That, like, just the flow of everything in the episode I thought was really natural. Like, here's just like a normal school day for Class 1A. They show up to class. They gotta, like, oh, villains have invaded UA. That's gonna be your lesson today. It's like, okay, get suited up. Let's go. Bakugo, you go over there. Jiro, listen for enemies. Koda, you use your Ana voice to get the pigeons to help us. Let's just, you over there, you coordinate. Okay, Ida's doing this. All right, Yaoyorozu, you create this. Okay, cool. Put out that fire. Rescue that civilian. Like, they were on that. I like the way that was depicted, yeah. Let's see. Do you think that Enma the Sword will take a big part on defeating Kaido? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I think it will, yes. Let's go back over to the, oh, I closed that off. Okay, hold on a second here. Let me go back over to the Super Chat window. Give me a second here to get that pulled up. Pull that back up again. And then we can go back through that. It's a juggling extravaganza, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. What if Mihawk could lip read? Then I guess he could lip read. Who's my favorite character in Dr. Stone? Probably Senku. Like, it's a pretty boring answer, but, Sosuru ze kore wa. Alright, there we go. Alright, now where did I leave off here? You think any Straw Hats will die by the end of the series? If so, who? No. Like, if any of the Straw Hats were gonna die in this story, Miriam Fluke, thank you for joining, becoming a member. If anybody was gonna die, I think the only way that could be done is if it was, like, right before the series ended. You know what I mean? Like, Usopp dies in the final battle to save Luffy, but I don't want Usopp to die, obviously. The Mary already died. I guess that's the answer you can immediately give. I don't want Usopp to die. I don't want any of the Straw Hats to die. Like, there's none of the Straw Hats. Like, even the one, like, I've said this before in a video when trying to, oh, what's happening? Hey, Rustage, how you doing, man? But it's like, even the least favorite Straw Hat I have is still somebody that I like. You know what I mean? Like, like, Chopper is probably the one I like the least, you know, but I still like, if you're gonna, I think I did percentages, like 0 to 100%. Like, 0 is like, I hate the character and no redeeming qualities. 50% is just average, and then 100% is like favorite character. Frankie and Robin would be in like the high 90s, and then like Nami, Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, they would probably all be in the 90s, to be honest with you. It's just like Frankie would be 100, Frankie and Robin would be like 100, and Chopper would be like 92, and then all the other Straw Hats would be in the middle there. And it's just like, so I can't say that I dislike Chopper, you know? So I don't want him to die. I love Jinbei. I don't want him to die. Yeah. Give me a percentage for One Piece D&D characters. All right. William's about 50%. I like William about 50%. He kills too many old people for my taste, personally. Ragnar, especially in the last episode, was great. So now you're putting me on the spot, Rustage. Now you're making me rank everybody. Okay. All right. I see where this is going. All right. I'm going to give Ragnar a good 99%. And Duros is a stalwart knight, so I'm going to give him a 99%. And Verona is a mighty sharpshooter that sometimes misses his mark, but I'm still going to give him a 99%. There you go. And then Troy Boy Tron, $50 sticker. Thank you so much. And then Pearl, I'll give a 95. Cyril, 80s, I guess. Louis Leclerc lost a lot of... In that last battle with Valentine, Louis Leclerc, man, he's like in the 60s right now. Louis, you gotta... you know what I mean? You gotta get with it, Louis. Come on. Let's see here. Bounce back over here really quick. Do you see Pokemon's anniversary 2021 this year? What do you think of the new My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission movie trailer? Do you have high hopes for Black Clover's first anime movie? Okay, so I knew that Pokemon's anniversary was this year, and I know they're going to re-release a lot of like old games and stuff. I don't know exactly, though. I haven't really looked that up. Then I knew that the World Heroes movie was happening. I actually just read a synopsis for that like this morning. You know, like I didn't see the trailer yet, but I read the premise. Like it's like the organization that's like all over the world, and they're gonna like try to blow up cities and stuff. And then the heroes, like the Class 1A, is gonna try to help, and Deku is actually accused of a crime. So that's gonna be interesting. And I did not know about the Black Clover movie. Got to be honest with you, I haven't heard anything about a Black Clover movie. Louis got to have a comeback arc. It's got to happen. Damn straight. Damn straight. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, man. If your crew got a one-armed doctor, would you give him the fake arm you guys got from the Steampunk Pirates? Sure. See, that's the thing with D&D, and this isn't just the case with One Piece D&D, it's the case with a lot of D&D. It's like, stuff happens, especially when you're doing a long campaign. Stuff happens, and then you just forget about it, man. Like, I have a list of, like, the stuff that we're carrying, but even that's not a complete list. Like, I have 15 grenades. Rustage, I still have those grenades from the Clown Island, you know? I'm gonna use them to, like, I don't know, blow up the ballroom or something. I don't know. Like, I have them. They're with me. But I always forget stuff. We always forget, like, what we have and what we don't have. And that's what the wiki's for. You can go on the wiki and you'd be like, oh yeah, we have that thing that we got in, like, episode 4, like, a year ago, right? It's just how it works. Let's see. Let's jump back over here. I'm so happy I'm catching a live stream. Oh, cool, cool. Nice to see it. New chapter is absolutely amazing. That's cool. Thank you. What you review after One Piece ends? I was thinking about this the other day. Ooh, 10,000 HUFs. 10,000 Hufflepuffs. So many Hufflepuffs. But thank you. One Piece D&D has a wiki? Yes, it does. There's a link to it in all the episodes. It's just One Piece D&D. Yeah. Wiki. Unlimited height. Thank you. So since My Hero is now in its final arc, but it could always get a sequel. That's one thing I always forget about. I always think that, like, a series going into the final arc means it's over forever and it's never coming back. No, there could always be a sequel manga. That could always happen. So here, Horikoshi could always be like, all right, this is the last arc of My Hero Academia, but the next story is not going to be taking place in the Hero Academia. That would actually be really interesting if, like, the first part of this story was, like, in school, and then the last part of it, the next part, the sequel, is Deku as, like, an actual, like, a hero going around the world, like, globetrotting, and, like, you know, defeating villains that way. Also, by the way, it turns out that, yes, I guess, Deku's not in New York City, which that was kind of disappointing from the last chapter. He's just still in Japan. I was kind of bummed out by that, honestly. I was really thinking that was the Chrysler Building. Damn it. You know, what are you gonna do? But still, Muscular's back. That's gonna be cool to see a fight. Ugh. Oh, is Roger in here? Hey, Roger! Maggot King. Okay. Hey, Roger! Congrats on 600k, dude. I can't stick around long. I don't want to be spoiled. I'm not going to spoil it, but, you know, I don't know how the chat's going to go. But thanks for coming by, man. Yeah, you have a good night. Thanks, Roger. I stopped in a few days ago, about a few weeks ago, when you were ranking all the Titans. That was a fun stream, man. That was fun. But thanks for stopping by. Got Rustage, got Roger stopping by to say hey. That's pretty cool. Deku versus Muscular, round 2. I have not seen Jujutsu Kaisen. Nakama! I would put on the stream, like, answers to, like, frequently asked questions. Like, frequently asked questions. No, I haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen. But number one, that wouldn't stop people from messaging me, have you read Jujutsu Kaisen? In fact, that would probably make it even worse. So, there's no point. Do you collect Pokemon cards? No, I don't. I do have Pokemon cards. I do have a collection of those, I guess. I have a few, but I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I've actually been collecting quite a bit here. Under my bed here, we have a few binders. I've been kind of trying to organize everything just in binders. So this is like extra deck stuff. In here is like all spell cards and stuff that I have. You know, I have another one that's like more like simple cards, like original cards and kind of stuff. What's for dinner tonight? Dinner tonight. Probably I'm not going to cook everything. I've been cooking a lot this last week. I've been cooking like, you know, every night this week or something. I might go down a friend's place tonight. We might go out to eat and grab something or get takeout or like pizza or something. I'm not sure. Yesterday, I made a Josh Weissman recipe. I made the garlic toast, the really fancy garlic toast, because he did a video where you can make like 3 different kinds, where the first kind is literally just bread with like a little bit of garlic rubbed on it, and then there's like a more regular kind, and then there's like the super complex one where you have to like cook prosciutto and then cut that up and then add it to it and then get parsley and rosemary and black garlic and balsamic vinegar and, like, you know, you're cooking stuff in the oven like you're doing all you get Parmesan or Reggiano. I finally made that, and it took a while. It took a little while to make it, but it was good. It was some really good garlic toast. And then I just made burgers yesterday. Most underrated manga anime, in your opinion, bro? Most underrated manga and anime. I'm trying to think of, like, see, a lot of the stuff I read or watch is, like, mainstream. So, I don't know. Like, stuff like, I mean, like, Dr. Stone is pretty popular. I'm just saying that, like, you know, whenever I put out a Dr. Stone video, it's like not as many people watch them, and like the fan base is not nearly as big as, like, you know, Naruto used to be, or like One Piece or whatever, or Jujutsu Kaisen, I guess. But Dr. Stone, and also I really like reading Black Butler, although Black Butler is in another magazine, and yeah, that's of course that. But I really like those series. But those are both pretty mainstream, I would say. Favorite part of JoJo? Probably part 2. Probably Battle Tendency, just because I love Joseph's character in that, and also part 5 is really good too. Although it does always bug me a little bit. The first time anyway, like reading through part 5, like I never read through it or I never watched it. Like that was the first time I ever did it. I guess it always bugged me a little bit that, like, they set up the whole premise of Giorno being the son of Dio, and it, like, never goes anywhere, right? It never does. I mean, I guess that's not what Araki wanted to do. He wanted to get away from Dio at that point, and have a whole new story. And I guess the whole idea is, like, you saw how Dio acted, now see how his son acts. And Giorno is completely different from the way Dio was, right? So I guess you could look at the series like that. Like, you know, even though his father was this evil vampire guy, Giorno still turned out to be a great person, right? And you see that through his actions and his stand throughout the part. So I guess that's the premise that Araki was going for. It wasn't supposed to be an overt thing. It wasn't supposed to be a thing where, like, Giorno was gonna find out who his dad was, and then, like, Dio was, like, the final boss of the part or something like that, right? And you can imagine, like, you know, I was surprised when I first read through it. Really, it didn't really go anywhere. Can you imagine when it first came out? Can you imagine reading Golden Wind during the first, the first run of it back in Shonen Jump in, like, the 90s? Like, I imagine you're reading it, and you're probably sitting there from week to week kind of being like, man, I wonder if Dio's ever going to show up. I wonder if Dio's going to be the final villain, you know, because he's Giorno's dad, you know? And it just never happens. They reference it, like, in the first part of the series of Golden Wind. Jotaro mentions it, and then after that, it is never brought up ever again. You know, even when it's like, I always mess up his name. I always want to say Diavolo. It's not Diavolo. Diavolo. It's Diavolo, right? Diavolo. Okay. I always mess up his name. Diavolo. Even with his stand that can skip time. And, you know, the world, Zaworldo, can freeze time. You'd think there'd be like, oh, well, because Giorno's is the son of Dio, and Dio's stand could stop time. Maybe Gold Experience could do something. Like, no, it's nothing like that. So, yeah, it's just, yeah. It's Volvo. Diavolo? Diavolo? Diavolvo. Volvo is the name of a car. You know? Dio was dead at that point. Yep. Dio was dead in part 5. He never shows up again. Ever again. You have any Yu-Gi-Oh card? Do I have any Yu-Gi-Oh card? Yeah, I have a single Yu-Gi-Oh card. And it's Acid Golem of Destruction. That's the singular Yu-Gi-Oh card that I have. Just me and an Acid Golem. During your standby phase, detach one XZ material from this card or take 2,000 damage. You cannot special summon any monsters while this card has no XZ materials. Oh, I misread that. You cannot special summon any monsters, period. While this card has no XZ materials, it cannot attack. This card kind of sucks. It's kind of like Lava. It's like Lava Golem, right? It's like Lava Golem, but it's like an XZ. So I guess you'd have to figure out some way to get this on your opponent's side of the field, I guess. You know, creature swap or just something. I don't know. Some spell card that switches XZ monsters. Is there a soul exchange except for XZs? There probably is. Yeah. Who are my top 5 Straw Hats? Frankie, Robin, Sanji, Luffy, Zoro. I'm happy with that, yeah. Can Aizen be defeated by large-scale AoE attacks? That's kind of what Mugetsu was, sort of. I mean, you always mention, like, you know, what could happen, like, because, like, Mugetsu was, like, just, like, a sword swipe, and then the whole sky went dark, and then Aizen just got sliced in half. I always wonder, like, could you dodge that? Could you just, like, oh, no! I imagine the whole sky goes dark, and then wherever you are, no matter how fast you are or anything, it doesn't matter. The attack will hit you. That's what I assume, but we just don't know. Have you seen King Kong vs. Godzilla? Not yet, although I would say I'm probably on Team Godzilla. You know, not that I don't like King Kong, and King Kong, like, back in the 30s was an amazing movie. You know, it was really a game changer when it came to special effects. I like the Peter Jackson version. It takes forever to get where you need to go, but yeah. I liked the Peter Jackson version. I like the original the most, though. I also saw the version in the 70s. I think it was on TV once when I was in high school, and I was watching the original, there was the original King Kong, and then after that, there was, like, the 70s King Kong, where he climbs the Twin Towers at the end of it, which yeah, that's kind of awkward now. But yeah. But what will I review after One Piece ends? I have no idea. Because One Piece is probably not going to end for another 5 years or so. And I honestly just have no idea what the landscape's going to be like at that point, right? Like, I don't know if My Hero is still going to be going on or if the sequel will be going on. I don't think Dr. Stone will still be going on. I don't feel like let's say 2025. It might end before that, but let's just say 2025 is just a guesstimate. I don't think Dr. Stone will still be in serialization in 2025. My Hero might be. A lot of the series that we review, I don't know. I don't think Black Clover will be. I don't know if Black Clover will be by then. So, you know, like, it's probably going to be maybe a series that happens, like, hasn't even been out yet. Like, a manga could be released in 2022. Like, next year, a new manga could come out, which is a whole new game changer. And then One Piece ends in 2024 or 2025. And then this new series just takes the world by storm. And then I talk about that. You just never know. Never do know. I do. Why don't you sponsor videos? I do sponsorships. It's just I don't get them super often. Or when I like to split them up. I don't like to do them like all at once. And also it helps that I do a video like 5 a week, you know? Like I do 5 videos a week. So if I do a sponsorship, I don't think it's too overwhelming. Where there's some channels out there that can only do like 1 video a week or 1 video every 2 weeks or 1 video a month. And it's like every one of those videos is as a sponsorship, it's very noticeable. But with my channel, it's like I'm putting out 5 videos a week. So I think most people understand that it's cool. You know, it's just like, yeah, whenever I do get them, you know, I think the opinion on sponsorships have changed quite a bit over the years. I think a lot more people were upset by them when, you know, YouTubers first started doing that, when YouTubers first started getting Patreon, when Patreon became a thing. I think Patreon became a thing in like 2012, 2013, something like that. But I think a lot of people understand now that it's like, hey, look, in order to keep doing YouTube content, you know, you need money. You know, it's like a job like anything else. You need money. And a lot of situations, like especially it depends entirely what kind of content you talk about, but there's simply some content you can make on YouTube that just isn't monetizable now. It's just not feasible with the new regulations and everything. And so those people have really no choice but to either, you know, change their content radically or to, you know, go to Patreon or go to other, you know, revenue sources or take, you know, like Raid Shadow Legends or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, I think less people are pissed off about it now. I think more people understand that, like, this is what it is and this is how they make money and that's whatever. And at the end of the day, I mean, you can always just skip, you know, like if you queue up a YouTube video and you can see that there's something coming up, like, first, let me tell you about Raid Shadowlet, you could just go down and then just whoop, and then get to the content of the video. Or you could just tap the L button or whatever and just skip forward a few seconds in the video. Like, that's what I do. Sometimes I listen to the sponsorship. Sometimes I'm like, just get to the video. Click, 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 click. All right, let's watch the video, you know. But I'm not upset. I'm not like, how dare they? You know. Yeah. Barry has a clay fruit because he's clay. That's all bricks are made out of, apparently. It's just hard-fired clay. Too much work. When will you do another Bleach video? I actually have... So, I'm doing the Lieutenant series. Nanau's video is next. But... I do have another video planned for Bleach. Actually, considering it's a 600k stream, I'll show you that. Okay. So this is the next video. I think I'm going to make this video for Bleach next. And then I'm going to do a video. I'm going to continue the Lieutenant series. So this is going to be a video on the 4 different fighting styles that Shinigami utilize, which is Zanjutsu, Hakuda, Ho-Ho, and Kido. Which, out of the 4, I have to say Ho-Ho is probably my favorite. For one thing, it reminds me of the Pokemon, but also it just sounds cool, right? Yeah. So, that's going to be the next Bleach video, I think. It doesn't get brought up much. Like, the names of the 4 battle tactics only show up, like, a few times in the story, like Aizen mentions them. But I wanted to do a video just more about Bleach, like, lore, you know, in general. Thanks, $5, Zach Omar. Let's see. Yeah, and I gotta do another Black Clover video at some point too, man. That's another one that's really, really popular with Black Clover, yeah. Will you ever do live reactions again? I remember I did live reactions of, well, I did one on Dreamin' On, and I did one way back in the day. I did them on One Punch Man. I did One Punch Man live reactions way back in the day. Yeah, I did those, and I did the live reactions of the 4Kids dub, yeah. It's just live reactions are so much more, like just because I might be, like, if it's an anime especially, like, you know, oh, is this going to get copyrighted or blah, 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 you know, I don't know. I don't want to get a strike or anything. I'm always really, really cautious about that. Like, really just kind of, like, really cautious, like, overly, because it's like, you know, it's like one thing messes up, and it's like, oh, now I have a strike on my channel. Great. So I usually just avoid using anime footage at all. And I know it would probably be fine. Nux and Anime Uproar and a lot of other people use the Anime Grand Line Review uses the footage, I think. Like, so many people use the footage. I'm sure I would be fine. But I'm just, like, super cautious just because this is the channel, and this is, like, everything. This is my job and all that. And I don't even want to risk it, you know? But maybe I might do a reaction again on the vlog channel or something. Yeah, I could do it there. I like Roger's setup regarding live reactions. Yeah, his is pretty good. He has, like... Well, he has the green screen. That's the thing. That would be also cool. I could have a studio, but then a green screen in the background. My kingdom. You know what I want? I just want a room with blank walls. No windows. That might sound, like, sad, but for a YouTuber, that would be perfect. A room, 4 blank walls with space and no windows, maybe a shelf. Oh my god. It's everything I've ever dreamed of. You know, I could have everything in the background. I could have a freaking green screen over here. Oh, and a room attached to that room that has more blank walls. Oh, that would be glorious. That would be glorious. When will you have your own house? Hopefully this year. Gotta stay optimistic. You mean a basement? Well, if you've seen our basement, like, we don't have a basement. We have a cellar. This is a cellar, okay? You can't do anything down there. You know? It's pretty disgusting. I spent pretty much all day yesterday. So, I filmed the April Fool's video on Wednesday to put that out yesterday. So I had all day yesterday to kind of work on, like, reorganizing everything. So, oh, here we go. Having my own room to stream in was a game changer. I know, Briggs! I know! I have 2 rooms in this house that I kind of have full reign over. I have my bedroom, but it's a problem because my bed's in it. You know, I have my bed, I have all my dressers and everything, all of my books, so it's kind of cluttered. And then I have my studio space downstairs, and that's it. You know, and that room doesn't have insulation in it, so it's freezing right now because it's in the middle of the winter still, even though it's April because it's Pennsylvania. And in the summer, it's like 90. It's so swelteringly hot in there, you can't really do anything. Like, I can film in there, but I can't, like, sit in there and, like, edit or anything. I couldn't do that. That would be miserable. Anyway, so I spent all day yesterday, first part of the day cooking lunch, cooking the garlic bread recipe. That took a few hours, plus the burgers. I made lunch for me and my mom. And then I went and I cleaned out the entire basement. That took about 2-3 hours. Cleaning out the whole basement, throwing a bunch of shit away. We had a bunch of those, you ever get frozen food in the mail? My mom's on this Nutrisystem thing, and so she gets a bunch of these big styrofoam containers with the dry ice in them. We had a bunch of those, like 5 of those big styrofoam coolers, so I had to get rid of those. A bunch of trash down there I had to get rid of. So I cleaned out the basement. So I had space down there, and then took a break for a little while. Then I went to town to get some giant storage containers. Then I came back, and I spent last night, probably like another 2 or so hours, last night packing up some stuff in the storage from my studio space, moving it downstairs, just trying to free up as much space as humanly possible. Because it was getting to the point where I could not put anything anywhere. And also, I appreciate the fan mail, but that's part of the issue. I have a lot of this fan mail. I don't know. I'm really running out of places to put it. It is seriously becoming an issue. I was thinking about getting a storage unit, like just buying like one of those storage units and stuff. And that would probably work, except I would need to get like, you know, I'd have to make a bunch of trips back and forth in my car to like bring all the stuff. I'd have to get a truck or something. But yeah, I don't know about that. I think for right now it's manageable, but to have a house, you know, with a studio and an office space and then a big room, like an extra bedroom or something where I can just keep all my storage, my fan mail and everything, that'd be beautiful. Be gorgeous. All right. Anyway, where are we at? We're about an hour and 30 into it. I think I'll probably be ending it pretty soon. Will you ever make a video about Persona 5? I've done a playthrough of like the latter part of Persona 5. I think I did a video of the final battle I did against Yabdabouth. But I do like Persona 5 and Royals. I haven't played Strikers yet. I need to get into that. Theory of Poseidon from the Void Century creating the Calm Belt. Considering the Calm Belt is a nesting ground for Sea Kings, you know what? I don't think I've ever done a video on the Calm Belt. That always surprises me. Every now and then I'll be like, wait a second. I haven't done a video on this I've obviously mentioned it before. I've mentioned it in a lot of videos. But I've never actually sat down and made a video like, wait a second. How come the Calm Belt is a thing? Alright, hold on a second here. Juan. Alright. I think I'm going to make a video on the Calm Belt. I think I'm going to do that now. Yeah. Because I don't think I've done one of those yet. And there actually is this, it's like you got the Grand Line and then Reverse Mountain and the Red Line and the Four Blues, but none of that really explains why the Calm Belt's a thing. Alright, just hold up on that. Okay, pause that for the moment. Put a pin in that. Okay. How old am I? 27, gonna be 28 by the end of the month. Because it's not in the Grand Line. Yeah, but why? Why is it calm? You gotta think about the questions, man. You gotta ask. It's like when you're a little kid and you're like, I want a cookie. I'm like, you can't have a cookie. Why? Because I said so. Why? Because I said so. Why? Because you're going to your room. Okay. It's like you gotta ask yourselves that. So why is the Calm Belt a thing? Because Oda made it? Why? Because it's calm? Why? Because it's not in the Grand Line? Why? So there could be a barrier between the Grand Line and the Four Blues? Why? So the Straw Hats couldn't easily sail into it? Why? You know, and you just keep going down that until you get a 25-minute video. That's pretty much how it works. Thoughts on if full dive is real. Now that is something I actually did do a whole video about. I did do a whole video on if full dive VR technology like an SAO really existed. And I believe in that video I said, like, if you could make VR technology that's perfectly approximated to like what we have like in SAO, like what it looks like there, like you can go into full dive and like everything is like a real world and it's like a perfect replica. Like you can taste and touch and smell and everything is the same. I would be like, yeah, plug me into that. Hook me up to the hospital bed in the IV and just plug me into that, man. Plug me into the Matrix. That sounds fine to me. Yeah. I think a lot of people would make that goal there. So let's see. I can live in this world. Okay. Or I can live in a world where I can literally cast magic and fly. And my brain doesn't know the difference. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I think just hook me up to the Matrix. I think I'll just go with that. Yeah. Hi, Hybrid Calisthenics. Wow, everybody's just showing up today. This is great. Thanks to everybody for showing up, by the way. It's a lot of fun. Thanks to, of course, Roger and Rustage and Hybrid and everybody verified that showed up, every other fellow YouTuber. But thanks to everybody that showed up. Thanks to everybody that subscribed and all the members that we got from this. Everybody that sent me a chat. Thank you. Yeah, so this week coming up, today's what, Friday? Okay. So I gotta go help my mom out with something after this. I gotta go help her with a computer. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to get anything else out today. Tomorrow, Saturday, I think you know what? Considering I'm talking about the Calm Belt now, I might just do the Calm Belt video tomorrow. Like, because that's something I know a lot about, and I think I could just get that video out pretty easily. So we'll do the Calm Belt tomorrow. Sunday will be the One Piece review, as always. Coming up next week, I want to do the Bleach video I just talked about. The 4 types of, thank you, Hybrid, for the 20. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super sticker. So, I want to do the Bleach video next week. I'm going to take a little bit of break from the Lieutenant series. I want to do that. I actually want to do a video about Aka-Inu. I have a video idea about Aka-Inu. I don't want to spoil too much, but I have a video idea. I was actually, there was somebody that released an April Fool's video involving him, and I was fooled by it, but then I started to think, like, that would actually be a pretty cool idea to actually talk about that. So I want to do a video involving something involving Aka-Inu. So there's that, the Bleach video, Combelt video, One Piece review. Attack on Titan, if the last chapter does very well come out, like, this next week, I might talk about that, like, right after, who knows? I'm not sure. But, yeah, that's what I have coming down the pipeline, basically, and there's a few more things, too, as well. Also, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Video I want to make, and the D&D video I also talked about. Those ones are probably going to be a little bit more on the back burner, though, because they're not, like, the forefront of what I discuss normally, right? But, yeah. Yeah, busy week. I mean, like, I try to take it in stride, you know, like, there were times there where I was making, like, 6-7 videos a week, like, a video every day. Sometimes even more. There was, not a lot, but there were a few times where I'd be making 8 videos in a row. Like, I did, like, you know, I start, like, Sunday to Sunday, and then a video Monday, and that actually started to make me a little bit, you know, weird. You know, that like a little bit buggy, you know, or I'm just like, oh, my sleep schedule's now a little screwed up or something because of that. Like, because I was thinking, like, gotta make a video every day. Gotta make a video every day. I made a video the last 5 days. If I skip today, people are going to think I'm lazy, you know? So I decided, how about we scale that back to 5? I think 5 a week is good. So, yeah. And even this week, if you count this video, that's still 6 this week. So 5 or 6 usually a week. But, you know, if it's like a busy day and I'm like, I'm not going to have time to do a video, I don't sweat it. Because it's like, there's other stuff in my life that I'm handling right now. I like to go see and visit my grandfather, you know, because he's my only grandparent I have left now. So me and my mom go and visit him as much as we can, you know, and just like other stuff and just like my personal life, you know, go visit friends or whatever. And, you know, just, you know, don't want to get overwhelmed and everything. You don't want to get burned out doing YouTube, because if you burn out, then you're screwed. All right, because you're burned out, then you have this mental state where it's like, and I've seen it happen to plenty of people before, you get into a mental state where it's like, I don't want to do videos. And that's the worst that you can be in. And I've seen that happen to a lot of people. That's almost happened to me when I was in college, and I worked at Dollar Tree, and I was making YouTube. 18 credits at college, plus a part-time job, plus this. I got really messed up there. That was not a good time. There was like probably a moment there in like 2016, probably like 2015, 2016, where it got really like overwhelming. But yeah, it's balance. That's a very important thing to remember with YouTube. You gotta have balance in your personal life and YouTube. It's still a job, you know, and you want to make sure it's not too uneven. But anyway, once again, thanks to everybody for the 600K. I don't know when we're going to hit 700. It might be in another 10 months. It might be in a year. It might be more than that. It might be less than that. YouTube is this constantly shifting thing. I don't know. Like, something could really happen in One Piece this year, and I make a video on it, and it just explodes, and then maybe that, I have no idea. No idea where it goes. But at any rate, thanks for watching. See you here for the next one. This will be Tekking and Barry. We got Clone Barry hanging out over here, and Panda Barry's way in the corner, so I'm not going to grab him. But thanks for watching. Have a great one, everybody. Tekking, signing out. See you next time, everybody. Wait, I have to end the stream over here now, I think. It's like over here, over here. Hold on. Does this end it?